You know that feeling, right? That magnetic, almost uncontrollable pull you feel towards one specific person? It can feel like some kind of magic, like it's totally out of your hands. But what if I told you it's not magic at all? Nope, it's your brain running a hidden program.
I mean, really think about it. Maybe it was a coworker you barely even noticed, or a friend you've known forever. And then one day, bam, suddenly she's all you can think about. So what on earth just happened? Why her? And why now?
Well, the truth is, that sudden spark isn't random at all. It's a process. It's an ancient design, shaped by both your biology and your own life experiences, that decides who grabs your attention. And here's where it gets really fascinating. Science has actually mapped this thing out. We can literally follow the blueprint from that very first flicker of interest all the way to what might just become a real, lasting bond.
It all kicks off with three primal systems that are just always running in the background. You can think of it like your brain's operating system, but this one is designed specifically for love and connection.
So, this table breaks down the three core engines. First up, you've got lust. This is pure biology, driven by testosterone, and its goal is super simple: pursue. Then your brain shifts into attraction. This is where dopamine comes in, and it zeroes your focus onto one person, making them feel incredibly rewarding. And finally, you get to attachment, which is powered by oxytocin. That's the long-term glue, the drive to bond and protect.
But here's where things get messy, and it's why we can feel so conflicted sometimes. These three systems, they don't always point in the same direction. You can literally feel lust for one person, a deep attraction to another, and a powerful attachment to someone else, all at the exact same time. It's not a flaw, it's just your brain's different programs running at once.
Okay, so those are the basic biological drives. But that still doesn't answer the biggest question, right? Out of all the people in the world, why her? To get that, we need to dive into the powerful psychological triggers that make one person stand out from the crowd. Have you ever noticed how a coworker or a friend can just kind of grow on you? At first, maybe nothing, but the more you see them, the more something shifts. Well, that's the mere exposure effect in action. Your brain just naturally develops a bias for what's familiar, making it a super powerful trigger for attraction.
And this drive for what's familiar can go incredibly deep. It's not always just about seeing someone a lot. Sometimes it's about a feeling of comfort. The way she laughs or her tone of voice might subconsciously remind your brain of someone who made you feel safe as a kid, creating this powerful pull you can't even explain.
And on top of all that, your brain is, it's a pragmatist. It's constantly running this quiet background check, asking, hey, does this person actually fit into my life? This is the matching hypothesis. We subconsciously lean towards people who feel like a realistic match because our brain is hardwired to find a connection that can actually go the distance.
All right, so the psychological triggers are there. Now let's get into the really fun part, the actual chemical cocktail your brain starts mixing up when you develop a serious crush.
When attraction really takes hold, your brain turns into a full-blown chemical factory. And there are three key players on this production line, each one with a very specific and very important job to do.
First on the list is dopamine, the reward chemical. Every time she texts you or likes your post or just laughs at your joke, your brain gets a little hit of dopamine. It feels like you just hit a tiny jackpot, and it's exactly what makes you crave more and more of that interaction.
Next up is norepinephrine, the action chemical. This stuff is the reason your heart starts pounding, your palms get sweaty, and maybe your voice gets a little shaky when she's around. It's your body's go time signal, basically getting you amped up for the important task of making a connection.
Now for the final and maybe the most surprising piece of this chemical puzzle. When you're really falling for someone, your serotonin levels actually drop. And this is the biological reason you literally can't get her out of your head. Your focus just narrows, you start replaying every little moment. That obsessive thinking isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's your biology making damn sure you pay attention to this person.
But of course, attraction isn't just some simple chemical equation you can solve. Science can explain the blueprint for sure, but it can't always account for those totally unpredictable sparks that make a connection feel, unique.
Some people call this the X factor. It's that quality that just defies a simple checklist. Maybe she doesn't fit your usual type at all, but when you're with her, everything just clicks. It's an energy between two people that makes you feel seen, understood, and honestly, just more like yourself.
And you know what? This spark doesn't always have to be instant. We all know about the lightning strike, but there's also this slow burn. This is the kind of attraction that grows slowly, out of friendship and trust. And here's the secret. These slow-burn connections often end up creating the absolute strongest bonds because they're built on a solid foundation, not just a bunch of initial fireworks.
So we've looked at the biology, the psychology, and the crazy chemistry behind that initial spark. But where does that leave us? What's the real takeaway from all of this?
Well, it all comes down to this really powerful idea. Biology may spark desire, but choice builds love. That excitement, that obsession, your brain's whole program, that's just the starting gun. It is not the whole race.
Think of it like this. Biology might start the car, but you are in the driver's seat. It's the conscious choice to actually nurture that connection through your actions, your effort, your commitment that turns a simple spark into a real relationship. Your brain gives you the push, but the story, that's yours to write.
And that's really what it's all about. The next time you feel that pull, remember this incredible, complex process that's happening inside your brain. The science can explain the spark. The real question is, what are you going to build with it?